what's up, guys? Okay, sorry for the camera leaving because my thing is broken. So today we're going to go a little off topic. We're not talking about Egypt anymore. No, we're going to the start of the Roman Empire. Well, okay. So we already have the board here. The start of the FSSR. You know, it's the I don't know what it means. I just know it's it's no flag of the Roman Empire. So actually, the Roman Empire was never an empire in the start to begin with. It was more of a kingdom. It wasn't that like it was like a tiny bit. It was like it's like a little bit of shit. It was not even made entirely of Romans. It was made of Italic, Baltics, and other people that lived there at the time. So it went through more important rivers and got little important roads. But sure, there was a lot of fight. It was like barbaric. It was ruled by poverty, disease, and rebellion. And to some time, the sixth king, he was like a tyrannic, or his name was I don't know, something the proud, and Marcus Julius Brutus overthrew him and vowed with the elders to never let a king rule. And then, so yeah, that's a quite a long area in Roman history. It becomes the Roman Republic. It was a republic before it was an empire. Okay, maybe I should change the title. Actually, it's not a start. It's more of history of the USSR. This is very simplified. Please do not use this as a basis for what you know about the Roman Empire. So it becomes a Roman Republic. It was following this saying. It's like no man can hold too much power. And a couple centuries later, it was threatened. So we all know Julius Caesar, right? So he was this guy. He was a very, very strong and efficient Roman general, and he also defeated Pompey the Great in a bitter civil war, which ended with Caesar's victory. So Caesar became very important because he was voted many times to become dictator. So sure. Don't mess it up with other dictators, like, I don't know, Hitler, Benito Mussolini, those Japanese people. No. Dictator at this time was meant to grant emergency powers during wartime. Like, they're invading and they're near the capital. This is your capital and it's the land of the enemy. So they give someone important, efforts to see if they can, capture land. So basically, that's what dictator at the time means. And then one day, they give him this title, Dictator Perpetual. Which basically, I'm not gonna translate it for you, but I'm sure you get the meaning. Basically means you all know dictator, emergency powers in wartime. Dictator perpetuo, you are basically dictator for an unlimited amount of time. So the senators, they were like Caesar, but not smiling. They were not happy. Okay, they were not happy because they were being blocked by Caesar's own rule. But other senators, they were like, hey, this guy is not a bad guy either. He's helping the poor and he's bringing stability to the Roman Republic. And, most of the public liked him. But then, one day, a assassin group calling themselves the conspirators, I don't know. It was led by a couple of these senators. One of them included another Brutus. He was a descendant of the Brutus guy who overthrew Tarquin the Proud. So he was on Pompey's side actually in the Civil War. But Caesar was like, hey, we spare him. I'm taking him. So not even that, but also accepting him as a close advisor and lifting him to important posts. So basically, Julius Caesar treated Brutus like his own illegitimate son, like a stepson, but a very close father and son relationship. So we was like, okay, this is not good. He treated me good, but the leading conspirator was like, okay, yo, you gotta do this, all right? You have to do this, or else you might get turned to a Roman kingdom. So we was like, it's fine. I'm scared of him, and you're forcing me, and I just want to hear it anymore. I'll just join you. So, all right. So now comes the end. 43 A.D. It is March 15th. Julius Caesar, right here, he's in the middle. he was about to go on a military campaign. And suddenly, around 23 conspirators surrounded him and pulled out daggers. Yes, they were here to kill him. I mean, they were already planning to assassinate him after all. So, this guy, he wasn't the guy to go out and fight. So he started fighting back. He got stabbed multiple times. Sure, but he stopped fighting until he saw something that made him want to cry. He saw Brutus, the guy who he treated like a son, who he saved many years ago. And he just gave up the fight, and actually, this is a fun fact, we don't know Caesar's dying words. Or maybe he didn't say them at all. Sure, but we don't know. And after some time, he fell to the ground, dead, after 73 stabs. So he's dead, right? And then the conspirators hit themselves on Capitol Hill. Because the problem was they severely underestimated Caesar's popularity with the Roman public. So they were like, he's a good ruler, he brings stability to Rome. So then after that, a bunch of civil wars happened. And eventually, you know, Brutus would go, because of course he was losing civil war. And afterwards, it accomplished the opposite of what the conspirators had hoped. They hoped to, you know, end Caesar's dictating rule, but instead gave rise to the Roman Empire with only one singular ruler. So yeah, it's the opposite of what the conspirators wanted. Please note this is a very long video, okay? So now it's the Roman Empire, and they started expanding a lot. And in 222 AD, they were at their peak. They were basically, they ruled most of southern and northern Europe. They were basically like the entirety, and a little bit of Mesopotamia, and a little bit of northern Europe. But they were very heavily they relied heavily on exports, not on imports, not exports. You know, they had enough space so they can, grow crops and feed. But instead they decided, just import things because, it's better. But then Farragut stopped it, and that led to the collapse of the Roman Empire in in 550 AD, and it was not the Roman Empire anymore. It became the Byzantine Empire. The Byzantine Empire. Alright, Empire because it's too long. So the Byzantine Empire was on the eastern side. Alright, it was on the eastern side because this side, right, this is the line, the western side was taken over by what people would call, Roman people would call barbarians. But the eastern coast was mainly safe because a couple of years back, Constantine I moved the capital to this little spot here, and he named it Constantinople. So I'm just going to do CE as short. So Constantinople remained the seat for 15 Roman empires, and that is until, Mehmed of the Greater Ottoman Empire took over the city. It was in, all the way to the Middle Ages. So yes, the Roman Empire did fall, but it sort of existed into the Middle Ages because, of course, it's literally just the Roman Empire, but you change the flag, you change the religion, and you change your language. So yeah, history is very tough. Ups and downs can happen. Like, many countries, the Roman Empire, it had lots of ups and quite a bit of downs too. And, most other countries will have ups and downs. So, yeah, that's the entire history of the Roman Empire. Extremely simplified, of course. Go look on Wikipedia to get accurate answers. And I hope this video has educated you more about the Roman Empire. Thank you very much for listening to what I've had to say, and goodbye. I'll see you next time. I'm going to towel at you now. Sorry.